So you want to own a Roblox game. No factory, no inventory, no employees clocking in at 9, just a browser tab, an idea, and a slice of a platform that pulls in tens of millions of people every single day. Here's what the "I made $1 million on Roblox" videos don't show you. You are not actually building a business, you are leasing one on someone else's terms inside someone else's economy, priced in someone else's currency. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly what you'd really be buying if you decided to own one. On Roblox, what you own is called an experience. It can be a pet simulator, a roleplay town, a horror escape room, or a tycoon builder where players click their way to a fake fortune. Some experiences are single, self-contained worlds. Others are entire studios' worth of interconnected games, spun off into sequels and seasonal events the way a movie studio spins off franchises. The biggest ones function less like a hobby project and more like a live television network that never stops broadcasting merchandise mid-episode. And the platform underneath all of this is enormous. Roblox Corporation went public in 2021 and has since reported billions of dollars in annual bookings, the total value of Robux purchased across the platform in a given period. That scale is what makes owning even a small slice tempting, but scale cuts both ways. A platform that large has shareholders to answer to and a constant incentive to capture more of that spending for itself rather than pass it along to the developers actually making the content. What do you need to build one? Not much capital at first. Roblox Studio is free. Anyone with a laptop can open it tonight, but free tools don't mean free success. Real teams behind top grossing experiences run like small game studios with programmers, artists, and community managers, often paid in a mix of salary and revenue share. Top Roblox studios have been reported employing dozens of people, some paying lead developers 6 figures before a single dollar of profit reaches the founder. So that no employee's fantasy dies fast the moment you want to compete at the top instead of getting lost at the bottom. Now, the acquisition cost. You're not buying land, you're buying visibility, and visibility on Roblox is brutally competitive. Roblox has reported tens of millions of daily active users, and a catalog with millions of experiences competing for their attention. Getting discovered without paying for ads is close to a lottery. Paying for ads means bidding against studios with real marketing budgets, sometimes spending tens of thousands of dollars just to get the algorithm to notice you organically. It's like opening a restaurant in a city with 1 million restaurants, where the only way anyone finds your door is if you pay the city to point at it. Once players show up, the real costs begin. You need to keep updating constantly because Roblox's algorithm rewards fresh content and punishes stagnant games. New events, new cosmetics, rising server costs, moderation tooling, constant bug fixes as Roblox updates its own engine underneath you. Here's the part that surprises people. You don't own the servers, the engine, or the platform your business runs on. Roblox does. If Roblox changes a core system, your game changes with it, whether you asked for that or not. A physics update rolls out, and your obstacle course plays differently overnight. A moderation filter goes live, and content that was fine last month gets flagged this month. You are running your business on infrastructure you rent by the second, from a landlord who can remodel the building while you're still inside it. So how do you make money? Almost everything runs through Robux, Roblox's virtual currency. Players buy Robux with real money, then spend it on virtual items, game passes, and upgrades. You don't set the exchange rate. Roblox does. Here's the part every new developer gets wrong. You don't earn a dollar amount, you earn a share of Robux, and that share only converts to cash through a process called DevEx, short for Developer Exchange. In 2023, Roblox restructured payouts around what it calls engagement-based payouts, tying earnings more directly to how much total time players spend inside an experience relative to everyone else on the platform, rather than purely to direct purchases. That single policy change reshuffled who was making real money on Roblox almost overnight. Every dollar a player spends passes through Roblox's cut first. Historically, Roblox has kept roughly the majority of gross Robux spending before a developer ever sees their share. You're not the store owner keeping the register. You're more like a mall tenant paying rent in the form of a permanent revenue cut on a lease you can't renegotiate, no matter how much foot traffic you personally bring through the door. That's the take rate, the plain English term for the cut a platform keeps before you ever see yours. And it applies to a currency you can't spend anywhere else. On a platform you can't leave without leaving your entire audience behind. Now for the case studies, because the spread between triumph and disaster here is enormous. Start with the triumph. Adopt Me, developed by the studio now known as Uplift Games, became one of the most played experiences in Roblox's history. A pet collecting roleplay game that at its peak drew millions of concurrent players. Reporting on top Roblox studios has placed Adopt Me among the platform's highest all-time earners, its creators reportedly generating tens of millions of dollars a year at its height, largely through limited-time pet drops that turned digital animals into genuine collector's items. Adopt Me didn't just monetize gameplay, it monetized scarcity, the same completionist instinct that drives real-world collectible markets, whether the asset is a limited-run sneaker or a limited-run virtual dragon. Now, the disaster side. Roblox has repeatedly cracked down on categories of content it deems unsafe or against its terms of service, and developers building around gray area content have watched their experiences and their income disappear almost overnight. Reporting throughout 2023 and 2024 detailed moderation sweeps targeting inappropriate roleplay experiences, resulting in bans and the permanent removal of experiences that had until that point been generating real revenue. Because you never actually own the platform your game lives on, a terms of service violation, or even just an algorithm change can erase years of work in a single decision, with no landlord, no lease, and often very little recourse. You're building a house, but the ground it sits on belongs to someone else, and they can rezone it whenever they choose. There's a quieter version of the disaster story too. The slow fade. Plenty of experiences never get banned, and still watch revenue decline over 18 or 24 months as the audience that made them popular ages out and moves on. No dramatic moment, just a slow erosion that shows up in the analytics before it shows up in the bank account. Developers who never diversify beyond one hit often watch that single title's decline take their entire income down with it. The structural risks stack up fast. Platform dependency, since every rule change happens without your vote. Player fatigue, since Roblox's audience skews young and trend cycles move fast. The talent problem, since scaling means real payroll or real burnout. Imitation, since a hit mechanic gets cloned within days by teams with bigger budgets than yours. And underneath all of it, taxes. Once real money flows through DevEx, you're running a business whether you filed the paperwork or not, and developers who treated Roblox income like hobby money have been blindsided by tax bills scaled to earnings they'd already spent. So picture the good year and the bad year side by side. In the good year, your experience catches a wave. A content creator features it. The algorithm rewards the spike with more visibility. Robux purchases climb, your DevEx payout climbs with them, and for a few months it feels as real as owning a chain of restaurants, minus the real estate. Maybe a toy company reaches out about a merchandise line, the way several top titles have expanded into physical products. In the bad year, engagement drifts down for reasons you can't fully diagnose because the algorithm's logic isn't published. Server costs stay flat while revenue falls. A competitor clones your best mechanic and markets it better than you did. Or a moderation flag lands on your experience for a rule you didn't realize you'd broken, and the whole thing goes dark while you appeal a decision made by a system you don't control. The tax bill from last year's good year comes due right as this year's revenue craters. Both years can happen to the exact same game, sometimes 12 months apart. So what are you really buying when you buy your way into owning a Roblox game? Not a game studio in the traditional sense, and not a piece of the platform either. You're buying a revenue-sharing agreement with a company that controls the currency, the audience, the algorithm, and the rulebook all at once, and can amend any of it whenever it decides the platform needs to change. The world you built, the scarcity drop that made players obsessive, that creativity is real and it's yours. But the pipes it flows through, the exchange rate it converts at, and the shelf space it sits on belong entirely to someone else. You didn't buy a business. You bought a seat inside somebody else's economy, and you're paying rent on that seat with every single Robux that changes hands.